I'm Sarah Bennett, a 33-year-old mom of two, happily married, and worlds away from the trembling 25-year-old who stood frozen in a hallway, clutching a towel as my stepfather made a vile offer that turned my life upside down. He offered me $200,000 for one night, his words dripping with a sick mix of arrogance and desperation. When I exposed him, my mom, blinded by her own denial, chose his lies over me, shattering what little bond we had left. But I fought back, uncovered the truth, and reclaimed my dignity, proving that betrayal doesn't get the last word. This isn't just a story of a creepy stepdad or a fractured family. It's about finding your voice, standing up to those who hurt you, and rebuilding from the ashes of heartbreak. Stick with me, because this tale of courage, betrayal, and redemption will grip you to the end. And if you've ever felt dismissed or doubted, it'll hit you right in the heart. Back then, I was fresh out of college, scraping by as an assistant professor at a community college. Student loans were crushing me, and my paycheck barely covered rent, let alone groceries. My dad had vanished to another country when I was a teenager, leaving me and my mom, Ellen, to fend for ourselves. My twin sister, Claire, died when we were kids, a tragedy that haunted us, especially Mom, who seemed to pull away from me after that day. When I was 20, Mom married Tom, a wealthy 45-year-old who gave her the lavish life she craved. I never liked him. His charm felt slick, his smiles too calculated, but Mom was smitten, or at least she acted like it. I kept my distance, only visiting her house when I had to, like that fateful weekend when everything unraveled. I was staying at Mom's to save a few bucks, hoping maybe we could have a real conversation for once. Our relationship had always been strained, especially since Claire's death. But I was desperate to bridge the gap. That afternoon, I went for a jog, the summer heat leaving me drenched. A note on the kitchen counter said Mom was visiting a friend, and Tom was grocery shopping. Perfect, I thought. A chance to shower in peace. I didn't bother grabbing clothes, assuming the house would stay empty for hours. Wrapped in a towel, I headed to my room, never expecting to see Tom standing in the hallway, his eyes locking onto me with a look that made my skin crawl. I froze, my heart thudding. He wasn't supposed to be there. Before I could move, he smiled. Not a stepdad smile, but something predatory. "You're stunning, you know," he said, stepping closer, his voice low and deliberate. I wanted to run, but my feet felt glued to the floor. Then he said it. $200,000 for one night. The words hit like a punch, calm and calculated, like he was pitching a business deal. My mind reeled. $200,000? To sleep with him? I choked out, "What the hell did you just say?" My voice shaky with disbelief. He didn't flinch, just smirked. "You heard me, Sarah. Think about it. Pay off your loans. Start fresh. No one has to know." Rage surged through me, drowning the shock. "Are you insane?" I screamed, backing away. "What kind of person do you think I am?" He looked annoyed, like I was overreacting. "Calm down," he said, his tone infuriatingly casual. "It's just an offer. Don't make a big deal out of it." A big deal? He was trying to buy me, and he had the nerve to act like it was nothing. I spun around, ran to my room, and slammed the door, locking it tight. Leaning against it, I tried to steady, my pounding heart, my hands trembling. I felt trapped, not just in the room, but in the whole nightmare. Who could I tell? Mom? She'd never believe me. She always twisted things to make me the problem. I sank to the floor, hugging my knees, my mind racing for a way out. Through the walls, I heard the TV hum. Tom had settled in the living room like nothing happened. The audacity made my stomach churn. Then the front door opened, and Mom's voice floated in, light and carefree. Relief hit me. She was home. But dread followed, fast. Would she listen? My hands were clammy as I unlocked the door and stepped into the hallway. Mom was setting her purse down, Tom lounging on the couch, looking smug. "Mom, I need to talk to you alone," I said, my voice shaky. She frowned, impatient. "What's wrong?" I gestured to the kitchen. "Can we talk in private?" She sighed but followed. In the kitchen, I leaned against the counter, struggling to find words. "Mom, Tom said something disgusting to me," I started, my voice cracking. Her face tightened, not with concern but annoyance. "What are you talking about?" I took a deep breath. "He offered me $200,000 to sleep with him, in the hallway just now." I braced for shock, anger, anything. But she laughed, a bitter, cutting sound. "Oh, for God's sake, Sarah, don't be ridiculous." I stared, dumbfounded. "I'm not lying," I said, my voice rising. "He said it." But she was already shaking her head, her lips curling. "You're unbelievable. Always causing drama, always needing attention." Her words stung like a slap. "I'm not lying," I shouted, tears burning my eyes. She raised a hand, her expression cold. "Enough, Sarah. Let's see what Tom says." She stormed to the living room, and I followed, my heart pounding. Tom looked up, casual, as ever. "Tom," Mom said sharply. "Sarah claims you offered her money for, you know." She made a vague gesture, embarrassed. Tom leaned back, feigning shock. "Ellen, I hate to say this, but it's the opposite. She came out in just a towel, acting suggestive. I didn't want to upset you, but she's twisting it." My jaw dropped. "That's a lie," I yelled, stepping forward. "You know what you said." He held up his hands, all fake innocence. "I was going to let it go, Ellen, but I can't let her accuse me like this." I turned to Mom, desperate for her to see through him, but her glare was fixed on me. "Unbelievable," she muttered. "You come into my house and act like this? How dare you, Sarah?" She turned to Tom, touching his shoulder. "I'm so sorry you had to deal with this." I couldn't breathe. My own mother, choosing him over me. "You're seriously taking his side?" I screamed, my voice breaking. "He's lying to your face." But she wasn't listening. I grabbed my bag, hands shaking. "Forget it. Believe what you want. I'm done." As I reached the door, Mom's voice cut through, icy and sharp. "I didn't expect much from you, Sarah, but I never thought you were a—" She stopped, but the unspoken word hung in the air. I spun around, trembling. "Don't you dare," I hissed, tears streaming. "You want to believe him? Fine, but don't ever call me that." She stood there, arms crossed, and turned away, dismissing me like I was nothing. I slammed the door and ran to my car, throwing my bag inside. Tears blurred my vision as I drove, aimless, until I pulled over, sobbing against the steering wheel. The betrayal was suffocating. Mom's rejection, Tom's lies, the way they turned me into the villain. I needed to tell someone. But who? Then I thought of Mark, a friend from the college where I worked. He was kind, grounded, always ready with a joke or a listening ear. We'd grabbed coffee a few times, and I trusted him. With trembling hands, I called him. "Mark, I need to talk," I said, my voice cracking. "Can I tell you what happened?" He sensed the urgency. "Meet me at the park by campus," he said. "I'm here." At the park, Mark was waiting on a bench, his usual grin replaced by concern. I sat down, staring at the ground, and spilled everything. Tom's offer, Mom's disbelief, how she sided with him. As the words poured out, I felt lighter, like I was shedding a weight. When I finished, I braced for doubt. But Mark's face was tight with anger. Not at me, but at them. "Sarah, I believe you," he said, his voice firm. Every word. What he did is disgusting, and your mom should have had your back. Relief washed over me, and I cried, not from pain, but from being seen. "Thank you," I whispered. He shook his head. "You don't deserve this. No one does." I opened up more, telling him how Mom changed after Claire's death. We were 7, playing at the park, when Claire chased a ball into the street. The screech of tires, the screams, it haunted me. "It was an accident," I said, my voice breaking. But Mom never looked at me the same. She shut me out. And now she's blaming me again, like I'm the problem. Mark listened, letting me unravel years of hurt. His support gave me strength. But I knew I couldn't let Tom's lies stand. I needed proof, something Mom couldn't deny. The idea came late one night. I'd record Tom. If I could get him to repeat his offer, Mom would have to face the truth. It felt risky, but I had to try. I called him, keeping my voice steady. "Tom, I've been thinking about what happened. Maybe we misunderstood each other. Can we meet to talk?" He paused, then said, "I'm glad you're being reasonable, Sarah." "Where?" His smug tone made my skin crawl, but I stayed calm. "There's a quiet park near my place," I said. He agreed, and I hung up, opening my phone's recorder app, ready to catch him. At the park, I hid my phone in my jacket, the recorder running. Tom approached, all smiles, like he'd already won. "Hey, Sarah. Thanks for meeting me," he said. I forced a nervous smile. "I've been thinking, maybe I overreacted. I just need to understand what you meant about the money." His eyes lit up, sensing an opening. "Look, I only said it because I thought you'd see the opportunity. You're smart, beautiful. I figured you'd want a way out of your struggles." I swallowed hard. $200,000 is a lot, Tom. What were you expecting? He chuckled. "Let's not play games, Sarah. You know what I meant. No one has to know." I pressed further. "So you were serious?" He nodded, casual as ever. "Of course. I don't say things I don't mean." Every word was gold. Disgusting, but gold. I kept my face neutral, thanked him for clearing things up, and left, my phone capturing it all. 2 days later, I set the final trap. I called Tom, saying I was ready to discuss his offer, but wanted to meet somewhere private. A fancy hotel downtown, the Regency, where he and Mom loved to show off. "Meet me in the lobby at 8, I said. He agreed eagerly. At 7:50, I called again, feigning a delay. "I'm stuck in traffic. Get a suite and wait for me." He didn't hesitate, texting me the room number, 704. I drove to Mom's house, my heart racing. When she opened the door, her face was all suspicion. "What do you want?" she snapped. "You're coming with me," I said firmly. "If you don't, you'll never see me again." Her eyes widened, and after a tense moment, she grabbed her purse and followed. At the hotel, we rode the elevator in silence, her arms crossed. I led her to room 704, swiped the key card, and pushed the door open. Tom was lounging in an armchair, looking smug, until he saw Mom. His smile vanished. "What's going on?" he stammered, standing. I held up my phone. "Time to clear up. That misunderstanding, Tom." I played the recording, his voice filling the room, every word from the park, his offer, his excuses, his smug admission. Mom's face went white, her eyes wide. When it finished, I turned to her. "That's the man you believed over me. Am I still the liar?" Tom stammered. "Ellen, she set me up. It's not what it sounds like." But Mom wasn't looking at him. She stared at me, her voice barely a whisper. "Is this real, Sarah?" I nodded. "Every word. The drive home was quiet, but something had shifted. Mom didn't speak, but I felt her seeing me, really seeing me, for the first time. A week later, she filed for divorce, and Tom was gone from our lives. We started talking more, slowly rebuilding. She apologized, not just for doubting me, but for years of distance, for shutting me out after Claire's death. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. I wasn't just the shadow of her lost daughter anymore. I was Sarah, her daughter, and she wanted me in her life. That night changed me. It forced me to stand up, to fight for my truth. It was messy and painful, but it gave me my voice. Mark was there through it all, checking in, believing me when I needed it most. Our friendship grew into love, and by 30 we were married. Now, with our kids, Lily and Max, I have the family I always dreamed of. One built on trust and love, not lies. Mom and I aren't perfect, but we're better. And I've learned that betrayal doesn't define you. Your courage does. If you've read this far, I hope you feel it. You can face the worst and come out stronger. That's what I did. And it's freedom.